Good day, this is Thumbs United. We are continuing our work on this Cars project. This is going to LCD Productions and it's not going to Photations, even though it's going to be photograph heavy. Currently we are going through these car photos that were taken in LA in California Car Museum. I kind of got special access to it. I've already gone through and edited like 3 of these. This one's done, and then we're starting here. So let's get back to work. I'm doing 2 streams today. I really wanted to do a creative stream yesterday, but I ran out of time. And I was like so tired. I've been filming all weekend and yesterday, and I mean it's fun, but it takes a lot out of you. And so I was filming things for both Project Aerospace and another project I'm working on. It involves parks and stuff, so it's a lot of hiking and huge tripods and stuff. I ordered, if you want a heavy duty photography tripod, like a good one will cost you $200 to $300, especially if you want it to have a fluid head. And a fluid head, what it allows you to do is you can move the camera from left to right, up and down, and there's an even amount of resistance, which is why it's called a fluid, because it slowly moves left to right, versus a regular tripod head, which you have to latch and then unlatch and then you jerk it around, and then it's not like that, but you pay big bucks for that, especially if it's a tripod. It's a different mounting system for the tripod, and so the second you get like video, anything or cinema grade, it tacks on like an extra $100, extra $200 or $300. So what I did was I ordered from Amazon a construction tripod. Now these are different than photography tripods, where they don't have the right mount for. They don't have the right screw. They have a different screw size. But I was like, that's okay, I'm going to get an adapter. So I got an adapter, and with a little bit of work, I was able to get this construction tripod to hold my fluid head mount on tripod head. And so that was pretty good, because the tripod cost $40, and it's a tripod that's built for construction work. It's specifically built for holding the lasers and GPS systems that are used in construction. The construction crews, they have this special GPS, where the way GPS works is you can get updates really fast. So if you're driving and you get, the GPS system updates quickly as you're moving, but it will be not accurate. And if you want really accurate GPS positioning, it has to be really slow. So it will tell you to like the centimeter. And so the construction workers will align things using, the special GPS system. And it will take like 4 minutes and say, oh, you're in the exact right spot, down to the centimeter, or oh, you need to be a little to the left or right. And it's important for architectural stuff as well. But you can never have a GPS that's fast and accurate. There are special ones that's built for the military, and that's how all the missiles and everything work, because it responds to GPS really fast and accurately. And then airplanes have a special one too, but you pay big bucks for that, and you're only supposed to get it if you're licensed or something. do. But so that's what that tripod's designed for. But it is heavy. I mean, it's a lightweight aluminum, kind of a heavy-duty aluminium. But it works pretty well. I have to reinforce the part that holds the camera, the tripod head to the tripod. But other than that, it worked perfectly fine for all the shooting I'm doing. I'm shooting with a 500 millimeter lens, which is like, it's essentially a small telescope. And it was really difficult the first day using it. Focusing was hard. Like, I'm used to, for 450 millimeters, I primarily work with a 70 to 300 millimeter lens. And oh my goodness, this 500 millimeters is challenging, mainly because of focus. If you twist the lens, the focus ring, the tiniest amount, it shifts the focus maybe 10 or 15 feet. So something, that's 30 feet away. Well, no, it can't be. That's the other thing that's funny about this lens. The minimum focus distance is 35 feet. So anything closer than 35 feet, you can't focus on. It's impossible. And so let's say something's 250 feet away. Well, if you move the focus ring like a centimeter, then everything that's 150 feet away is all of a sudden out of focus, and everything that's 160 feet away is in focus. And so that's 10 feet, for a centimeter of a twist. So you have to really fine tune it. But yesterday when I went back to the park, it was much easier. I didn't use the viewfinder at all. I used live view, which is focusing through an LCD screen, and that helped. And I thought it would be even harder yesterday because it was all cloudy and overcast, but I think it was just I had to get used to the lens, and there was a lot of experimentation I had to do with the circular polarizer on the first day that made it too dark. And so that's where I was at. And so I already edited the photos. There was, I think, 60 from the first day, and there was like 40 from the next day. And then I was shooting stuff for Project Aerospace, and that went very well the first day. And the second day it went well, but I had technical problems. And I'm going to be writing more for my blog. And so I'm going to be publishing the production notes of everything that I work on. But there was a small crash, and luckily it was after I filmed everything. And it was a safe crash, if there is such a thing. Nobody was around, and I landed exactly where I wanted to land and where I was aiming to land, but I landed a little too fast, and it broke one of the arms of the quadcopter, the drone. But I already fixed it today, and I've flown it, and it works well. The problem that I've been having is that I have 6 regular batteries for the drone, and then I have 2 heavy-duty batteries. And so the heavy-duty ones last 10 minutes, which doesn't sound like a long time, but it's a long time for flying. It's long enough. And I mean, ideally I'd have a battery that lasts 40 minutes, but I would need a bigger drone with a bigger battery, and everything costs more. Where the setup I have now costs maybe $250 for the drone, for the FPV, first pilot view, which is I can see what the drone sees, and then and yeah, so that's that system, and then it's about $100 in extra batteries. And so the regular batteries are supposed to last 6 minutes, but they're having this problem where they're only lasting 2 to 3 minutes, and that is like, it's not ideal. I mean, like, essentially what I can do is I fly straight up, I look to the left with the drone, I look to the right, I look behind, and I look forward, taking pictures. And I have the camera to just take a picture every half a second. So, 2 seconds, you get 4 photos, 8 seconds, you get 16 photos. And so it happens really quick, and it's okay for that. But if I want to go like further out, I can't do that. So it's essentially straight up, look around, and then come back down and land. And everything I do within line of sight, even if I'm using the first pilot view, which is looking through the drone's perspective, as though you're the pilot in the drone. And so the battery for the FPV died mid-flight, and it was okay because I'm flying within line of sight, which means you only fly the drone from where you can see it. You never go someplace the drone is hidden from view. You never fly so high that you can't see the drone. It's always within view of the pilot, with a view in the pilot where you can see with the naked eye. And so it died, and then I took off my goggles and I found it in the sky. It was where I thought it was. But I was like, you know what, let's get down fast, because the winds had just started picking up. So I landed. I had to come down quickly, and what happened was, as it was coming down, the turbulence flipped it upside down. And so drones can't flip themselves back up again unless you have a special drone, and they're like high-end. And so it flipped upside down and just pile-drived into the ground. But the camera was okay, the drone was okay, except for the one motor that fell off. But like I said, I already fixed it, and it flies. So that's good. So I'm going to go to the park one more day. There's one more location I'm going to shoot at. I'm shooting at several different points along the river, and then I will be done. And so this is the biggest project I've done in terms of video for the drone. I've worked on more projects where I've taken longer doing a lot of photos, but I'm going to be really happy with this. There we go. So what else happened? Oh, I saw Steve and Oli. It's a movie about these two, like, comedians, actors, and it was really good. Yeah, it's the actors that played Laurel and Hardy. And it's funny because, like, I have the DVDs from when they were out. They were like from 1930s, and so it's old black and white actors, black and white films. Whoa, let's start this over. Here we have the Model T, but Yeah, it was really good. I kind of discovered, like, I don't handle sugar well. Like, I thought when I go to the movies, I get that giant thing of soda. And then it's like, man, I can't sleep at night. I feel high energy. And it's like, you know, I'm going to play video games from 12 at night to 5 in the morning. Like that kind of energy level. And but it so this time when I went to the movies, my goal was to wake up early and go shoot at the park. So I get home about 11. I had this giant thing of soda, but no caffeine. I was like, I want to get to bed. I want to be tired and fall asleep. So I fall asleep. I get to bed around 2 because I'm still charging the batteries. And so my alarm's set for 5:45. And going to bed at 2 in the morning and waking up at 5:45, like, it would have been better if I just stayed up all night and then went to the park and then came back and slept. But I was so tired at 5:45 that I said I can't. So I went back to sleep and then woke up at 9 and was at the park by 9:45. And that worked out well. And the reason why I was going so early is, one, you're not allowed to fly drones around people. And so if I go to the park earlier, then there's less chance of people. And two, it's winter, so there's not a lot of people go to the parks. And it's funny because sometimes I catch people hunting in the park before I start flying, and then they usually leave because they're not supposed to be hunting in the park. And but anyway, the reason why I was going there so early was there was supposed to be virtually no wind from 9 to 11, and then a little bit of wind from 10:30 to like 1. So I wanted to fly with the batteries. I'm supposed to have enough time to fly for an hour and a half, but because the batteries have been acting up, it's really 40 minutes. And I have to switch them pretty often. But I have to land, switch the battery, take off, and everything. So that's the so I did all that, and then so it worked out well. I got some really cool pictures of this frozen lake. And the first day I was shooting there, it was really creepy because the ice lake was melting. Well, the ice that was covering the lake was slightly melting, and then in the combination there are like these air bubbles that form under it. So the lake was making this really deep bubble sound, but it sounded like a kind of haunting whale song where it would go boom 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 boom, and it sounded like that sound in an Inception or a whale, and it's essentially a large bubble. So I recorded the audio of it. It's funny because the audio I have, there's a really loud quick one where it goes blah, 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 but like really loud and really low frequency, and then I have a couple of longer sounds of that, and so that was cool. And so this project that I'm working on for LCD Productions, it's kind of a study in 35mm video. I'm trying to make a film with my DSLR, and I'm like really pushing the limits of the DSLR to the max. The first day I shot entirely on vintage lenses, and some of them were really good, and there was one that wasn't so good. Then the next day I did higher end lenses, and then I started shooting with this really inexpensive 500mm lens. Usually a 500mm lens will cost $12,000. Like a 600mm lens will cost $12,000. A 400mm lens will cost $6,000. So those are real lenses, and they're good lenses, but they're very expensive. So I ordered this 500mm lens for $80, and so I knew there's no way this is gonna be a good lens. I had a gift card for Amazon that covered the cost of the lens, and so I ordered it. Came. I've been using it, and it's getting better, if that makes sense. I'm getting used to working with 500mm. It was very difficult to use the first time I used it, but I'm liking it, and so it is a deal. It is nowhere close to the quality of a real 600mm lens or from Canon or a 400mm lens. It's not even close. It's almost like looking through a scope, and you get some of the same lens artifacts. There's a lot of abrasion from high contrast subjects. So if there's something that's dark close to something that's white, there is a prism effect where it's like slight blue and magenta between the two objects. But I've learned that if you focus on the thing that's bright, so let's say you're taking a picture of a duck that has bright white feathers. If you focus on the duck, the lens abrasion goes away, versus if you're trying to shoot like a tree but not the duck, then the duck will have a lot of abrasions, and it will be kind of that prism outline effect. So we're about halfway done with this. So this $80 lens, I would say it's worth $150, maybe $200, but I'm really glad I got it for $500. And it's a T-mount lens, which means you screw the lens onto the tripod because it's so heavy, and then the camera actually hangs on to the end of the lens. You mount the camera to the lens, and so the lens is attached and holding up itself and the camera. And the reason why you do it that way, why you would use a T-mount for larger lenses, is that if you attach, well, one, you have to. There's no way you can do it handheld and focus and everything at 400mm. You can handheld 300mm in the right light, but if you attached the camera to the tripod and then put the lens on the camera, it would crack your camera in half. The lens would be so heavy that once you mounted it to the camera, it would just rip the mount out, and it would destroy your camera. Just because not only the weight, but the way that it would mount, it's essentially like a giant lever with a ton of weight on it, and it would just shred your camera. So that's not good. So that's why you use a T-mount. And all the lenses that are large have T-mounts. It's not a big deal. And so you can kind of notice I am trying to not make it look more like film, but have kind of a film response to where the darkness never gets to a low black point. Things get dark, but instead of turning, completely black, I'm having it so that it kind of gets to a milkier black, a more defined black, but not a completely high contrast photo. And so that kind of looks like unprocessed film photography. But then I am still adjusting the darks and the exposure and the fill light. And it's just kind of a new style I've been doing. I've been doing it since I've been working on the New York project, which is something we're going to be going back to pretty soon. I just have to finish the Milwaukee project, and we have other things we're going to work on. I've been working on a lot of projects offline, just because sometimes it's not easy to stream, like in the morning or whatnot. And I keep hitting the data caps for my internet provider, so I'm trying to stream less than I normally would. And then the other thing that's funny is that I'm closer to partnership than I am to affiliate. Like, I have all the hours, I have the views and whatnot, but I don't have enough people chatting. And so there's 3 things you need for partnership, and I don't have one of them. But then there's like 4 or 5 things you need for affiliate, and I don't have 2 of them. And I don't even want affiliate or partnership. I just want to be able to do my reruns again. I mean, like, I have a solution for reruns where I do the produced content, and I'm streaming the videos that I create, and the documentaries and the animated slideshows, which I call footations. I stream that with no voiceover and everything. It's just the video streaming. It would be like you're watching TV or watching, Castle or The Good Wife or something like that. But when I do that, that means I have one less computer I can render films and everything on, which is fine. But it still takes a lot of data from my internet service provider. They're pretty funny. They send you the letter and they're like, you're allowed to use 1 terabyte of data, and they're like, you're at 900 gigabytes of your data for the month. Because you are close to that, we're counting you as going over. So they kind of tell you, for every gig you go over a terabyte, they charge you extra and they throttle you. And so they're telling you, because you got close to your data cap, you're allowed 2 times to get close to your data cap, but on the 3rd time they'll start charging you once you go over. And so even though we've never gone over it, we got close. For whatever reason, they counted that as going over. And so they're like, oh, you've gone over twice. And they've admitted, they say, no, you got close to the data cap. And so it's kind of sucks. And it's not just, like, I was streaming every day for 2 or 3 months, which was a lot of fun. But I was also uploading a lot to Patreon, and then I have to re-upload all the content to Footations or Thumbs United, and then there were other jobs I was working where I had to do a lot of uploading. So if you work in media, even with photography and not so much video and cinema, that's something you have to think about when selecting your ISP. And you think, oh, I'll never hit a terabyte of data, and it happens pretty easily. Like, I don't have to work that hard to hit it. That's kind of why I slowed down on streaming and everything. But yeah, like I said, I mainly want the ability to do reruns and vodcasts and stuff. I hate that they took it away, because that was 90% of my views and followers and discovery was from me rerunning videos that I created and really produced content. So, and then in the letter Twitch emailed, they were like, oh, the majority of people don't get any views or any followers from reruns and premieres or anything, so we're taking that away from everyone who's not an affiliate or partner. And I was like, no. I'm literally that 0.5% that did well with those, and with reruns and premieres. So that's why I'm really pushing for affiliate now. And I'm getting ready to get a day job. Like, it's been fun working for LCD Productions, and I've poured a lot into it, which is good because it's in a place that's like really stable. I mean, there is growth. It's extremely slow, but it is extremely consistent, like really consistent. Like on Facebook, maybe 7 people. I've lost 7 people from like the Facebook page in over 4 or 5 years, and that's it. And then yeah, so like things are like really stable. And even on Twitch, like I hit 50 followers, and I've been at that for a couple of years. And I think that's because a lot of the people I attract kind of are like me, where it's just chill, you just hang out and go with the flow. And me getting out of the house more and interacting with more people, I kind of realized, like, it's not normal to be kind of relaxed. And I don't mean like no problems, relaxed sitting on the beach, but I mean like just not high energy, not getting in someone's face and demanding things, just being chill about everything. And just kind of caring about everyone's needs and stuff. And a lot of people are like, you don't do what I want, you're a butt. And they don't say that, they say it worse, but it's a lot of the people I'm meeting on social media kind of do what I do, where they kind of give themselves more to the community. Whoa. What did I do? That was scary. But just put themselves above. No, they put others above themselves. And you know, that's the refreshing thing about kind of social media, is like they're finding me. You know, I just post things, I just post photos, and so it's not, you know, I don't have any fans or anything like that. It's mostly like other photographers are finding me, other people in ASMR find me, and it's just like, it's nice because it's just, you know, the creatives kind of find me, which is how I like to create content, where it's kind of like the movie Field of Dreams, where it's just you build and you build whatever you want, and you know, the people will find it. You know, if you build it, they will come. And so what's nice is that, like, I haven't had to compromise and make things I don't enjoy. Like, a lot of my work is really slow and gentle and everything. And I'm glad that some people like that. I feel like I don't like to compare, but I feel like kind of my work is like Mr. Rogers meets Andy Warhol, where like he had a lot of films that were. Oh, and by the way, we've moved on to the 2009 North America Detroit Auto Show, but like, there were a lot of films that I liked, and they weren't even films, they were like screen tests, and like one was this lady just brushing her teeth for like 5 minutes. It's like, it's a funny thing like that. I'm not saying I'm going to be filming ladies brushing their teeth for 5 minutes, but it's like, he took everyday things and kind of exaggerated it. One of his famous films that everyone didn't like. It was like, what? They were really excited that he was getting into filmmaking, Andy Warhol. And so he made like a 5-hour film of just a chair in a room. And like, people saw it, they started watching it, and like, they stayed for like an hour or 2 hours, and they were thinking, okay, something's gonna happen. And then, you know, people just started leaving, and it was like this big statement he was making. But it was really kind of avant-garde and experimental stuff, and then he did another film that was, it was like a full day looking at in New York City, where it was just a video of a skyscraper, the sun rising, and then going through the day, just one camera angle pointed in the same direction, and then the sun setting, you know, in real time, not sped up or anything. So my work's a little faster than that, but I do like to keep it kind of consistent and slow. Oh my goodness. There we go. This is the one I want to remove the flag. I have the Audi R8. So I am going to be streaming again tonight. It'll be later. It'll be like sometime between 9 and 11 p.m. Eastern Time. And we're going to be doing Mass Effect Andromeda. I think this is episode 5. And I mean, we are going to be completing the story eventually, but we're just doing as many side quests as possible. We are in absolutely no hurry to beat the game. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if we do 30 or 40 episodes, each about an hour and a half of Andromeda. Like, I can't stream as long as, like, I watch people and they're streaming for 4 or 5 hours, and like I'll have them on while I'm working, and it's like I cannot do that. I cannot be, live for that long. And then but yeah, so I'm trying to start doing a little bit longer, but I'm also trying to have fun, so I'll stream for like an hour and a half or 2 hours. Occasionally I'll get up to 3 hours, but most of the Mass Effect Andromeda, I start to get tired around 2 hours. We got our Beamers, our BMW. And these are cars from 2009. This is actually the 2009 auto show in Detroit. And that's one of my favorite cars. This is the Z4. I really like the Z3. But they don't make that anymore. This Z4 is the next version. But yeah, the next one is, I had my first car was a Mini Cooper, and I'm saving up for a new one, supposedly. I'm considering, I don't know. It's tough because I'm getting kind of older, and like I'm 28, so this might be, my last car, the next car that I get, my last me car. The car I might get later, like if I start a family and have kids, the car I get later will probably be like a minivan or an SUV. So this is kind of like my last chance to get like a small compact car that I really enjoy. Just a car I like. And so I'm not like I'm gonna be doing more road trips, especially once I turn 30. Like there's gonna be a lot more camping and everything. So I looked it up, and there are like these special roof racks you can get for the Mini. And then you just pop it up and you can sleep on the roof. But like I'm pretty sure I'm gonna do that for these road trips. A lot of them will be going to like parks and national parks. But let's see, what was I saying? And half of me is like, maybe I should, just get a minivan, and then I can have like an office center inside and then the tent on top. But I think I'm gonna go with getting the replacement Mini. I have to do my billing, but I'm pretty close to I have 10,000 saved, and so then I have to go across my billing. I'm getting paid in payments, and so I have to see how many more payments I can get. I think this was a concept car. I don't know if it ever came into production. It might have, but I can't swear to it. And these are just concept models. They were not full-size cars. And this one is the Ford Mustang, but it wasn't from the Ford section. It was this section where it was souped up vehicles, so everything's modified and everything. But they're a company that, you know, you take your vehicle to, and they'll soup it up for you. And so yeah, kind of like I said, I'm trying to make it look more like it was taken with a film camera, and so a lot of that is reducing the high contrast. So I'm still having it, you know, really, you know, the colors pop, which is kind of my style, but I am trying to have it a little bit, you know, less dark colors than I normally do, and that kind of makes a wider dynamic range, which is popular nowadays. But but yeah, I just, after working with so much film, it's like, you know what, I think I understand how to make digital look like film. And I just like that look. And then I know it looks like I'm doing this really fast, and I am, but once you kind of figure out, because the lighting conditions are so similar, once you kind of figure out, it's not similar enough, you know, it depends on what you're taking the subject, what the subject of the photo is, and everything. So you still have to fine tune. But a lot of the settings, once you discover the process and all the things you need to do to edit the photo, they're kind of similar. When you know what, I don't even like this one, I like the next one. So this is the one we're going to use. Do, 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 do. So we'll stop once we finish the 2009 car show. I got file management and admin stuff I have to do, and the reason why I'm able to stream right now is my grandmother's taking a nap, so that's not gonna last forever. We had a sneaky stream. We were able to sneak it in. So I want to thank everyone for coming out. I will be streaming again tonight, sometime between 9 and 11. Probably going to start around 10. I would love to start around 9. Because I am trying to sleep more at night versus going to bed at like 5 in the morning. Here's the FJ. We don't have a lot of more photos that are gonna be. I just have this last row. And here's Scion. Lamborghinis, they haven't been to the car show in a long time. So we're almost done. And the last photo. Okay. I want to thank everyone for coming out. Do 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 do. And let's see. Well, my Twitch is broken, so we're just gonna end it here. I want to hold on. We're gonna host Miss Cookies. Okay. I want to thank everyone for coming out. Bye bye.
No, but this is interesting. This kind of gives almost like a thank you film. It gives an idea to this notion of like, how do people hold the keys to my existence? And